Hey, what's up? How you today? Everything's going pretty good.
It's going.
You okay from yesterday?
Oh yeah.
I know you scared you pretty bad.
No, nah. He was scared. He better be. He better be.
Do you have a guy?
Hey, Dr. Harry, how are you?
I just pushed myself into the table.
We're going right ahead.
I joined you.
Yeah, well, come on.
George, how you doing? Man, I'm sorry to hear it. I got your email.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it rolls.
It is. Hey, Fred.
All right. Doing good. How about yourself? See you, bud. You too. Everything well? Good. Good. Yes.
Welcome to the Rotary Club of Grange. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation today given by Captain Toberson. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the individuals in this moment. Thank you for life and your continuous works and mercy that you bestow upon us. In this time, I ask that you heal those hearts that are broken, any health ailments that anyone feels, so that our feet will remain firmly planted on the things that you have set for us. I ask that you give us the food that we have received, may be nourishment to our bodies, as your spirit is nourishment to our minds and our hearts. Let us continue to do the work of this organization, and may all the work that we do not reflect us, but reflect you. These and all blessings we ask in your son Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Tabitha. I'd like to ask Good Wednesday afternoon, everybody. We do have a nice list of guests today, so if I call your name, please stand and we will recognize you as who's the list. Guests of Henry Jacobs today are Nate Crawford and Sam Craig from DAD. Susan Ferguson has as her guest Eric Mosley, who's our Troop County. Jeff Brown has as his guest his lovely wife Shirley. Sherry Cody is a visiting Rotarian from the Muskogee Rotary. And we welcome back Dr. Susanna Baxter, who will be introduced by Trip Penny in 2 minutes. Thank you. It's good to see so many familiar and some new faces as well. Just a few birthdays and anniversaries today. Ken Bowright celebrates a birthday on May 13th, and Mark Davis celebrates a birthday on May 18th. So happy birthday to y'all. And Debbie and Randy Nick celebrate 47 years on May 17th. So congratulations to them as well. So happy birthday and happy anniversary. And just a few club announcements. Just please remember to silence your cell phones before we get started. Also be reminded that Lee Cathy is going to be, he's still set up, he was taking pictures and portraits before our meeting today. He'll be out there afterwards on the other side of the buffet. If you need to update your picture for our website or just need an updated picture, Lee can help you do that at no cost today. This afternoon will be the last chance to do that today. Our annual banquet will be on June 9th. You should be getting an invitation to that shortly. Remember, if you signed up to read books to pre-K students and take them to their schools, there's 2 weeks of school left. So if you haven't done it in those 2 weeks, are probably going to be filled with field days and field trips. So get on the calendar as soon as possible, hopefully this week, to read those books and hand them out to all the kids in Troop County. I want to say thanks to Jeff Wright for doing a great job on our bulletin That being said, it's been fantastic, Jeff, but we're looking for a bulletin editor for the month of June. So if anybody feels the need or the calling, let me know and we'll get that going for June. That's all I have for announcements. If anybody has any happy dollars and wants to share anything with the group, yes, sir. Come on up to the podium man, so they can see you.
I want to put a plug in for the Grange High School baseball. I saw 3 games the past few days. They won 2 out of 3. They beat Heritage High School just south of Chattanooga, and they are playing again. Play Cedartown here next Friday. So turn out and see that if you can. It's really great baseball. And Dr. Baxter or Mark can bring us up on the college games that are coming up. But go see some baseball. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Hello, Captain Gilbertson. On your table, you'll notice an invitation, and it's for and it says 33rd-ish awards banquet because COVID kind of threw us off. We've been here for 33 years, but we didn't get to celebrate for the last 2. There's a QR code, you can just scan it and RSVP, but it's for our students. Most of the kids we work with being in school, they don't get recognized at your normal honors day. You know, we work with students who got suspended 6 times last year or got 30 referrals last year, and maybe only got 1 this year. And so we like to celebrate those things. So I would hopefully everyone can come out. There's going to be great food, entertainment, local, and a young man from Atlanta, which is 217, he came here before. So hopefully I'll see most of you. Some of you have already got invitations and RSVP'd, and my email list was all over the place. I don't know who I invited and who I didn't. And so this way, I can do, blanket invitation. And thank you to those who have already RSVP'd. And a special thanks to Gerald White, who so graciously was sort of voluntold to help me, but he's done an awesome job. So hopefully you all will RSVP, and I'll see you next Tuesday at the Callaway Conference Center. And we're doing a book signing for some of our authors who were published this year.
Okay, LSPA is winding down our season. We have a couple more things after this. We have recitals, and then we also have summer camps this year, theater summer camps. But this week we have And Then What Happened, which is storytelling with our children and a play, and it's for all ages. We have kids from from 6th grade down. It'll be in this production, and it's obviously good for everybody, all your kids and your families. So please come out Friday through Sunday. So hope to see you there.
Hello. So mine is more entertainment this weekend, Saturday. I'm sponsoring the cook-off. We have about 20 vendors on Saturday. It's going to start around noon, 412 Daniel Street, main events. So basically, it's going to be free hot dogs, free juices for the kids. There's going to be $1,000 for first place for best ribs, fish, and burger. So basically, come out, enjoy yourself, bring your kids. There'll be bounce houses, possibly a water slide, I think, as well as great food from people from all over the branch, Newman, Columbus, some from Atlanta. So you're going to have a lot of different options of food. Thank you.
Give a big shout out to the True High Tigers who beat the Grand Slam to win their game in baseball. So we can't forget those Tigers.
So first off, July 1st, we're raising it to Happy Silver Dollars. I do know so many people will be happy. Supply and demand. So anyway, also I need to correct the disinformation that I spread to Mark and Jeff about the time of the banquet. Thursday, June 9, The dinner starts at 7, but apparently, according to Barbara, when there's free wine, people like to show up early. And so the reception actually starts at 6. So reception at 6, dinner at 7, followed by the program. It's at the Eason Recital Hall. Ted's not here, and I have no idea. Well, Ted's here. All right, Ted, thank you for providing a hall. We appreciate it. There will be, of course, some entertainment supplied by Ken Passmore, who is on the music faculty at LaGrange College, along with, I think a soprano, but at least a vocalist, Lauren Higgs, who was a student at LaGrange College. So it'll be a fun time. I have the menu if you want to see it. There's no charge this year for your guest, but you need to RSVP to Barbara or me, and she'll be sending out the invitation. So do that, and we'll know a head count. Also, Lee Cathy not only is doing the pictures, but he said if you do any kind of contribution to our foundation, he will provide you with a shot to be used for whatever you want to use it for. So I encourage you to go ahead and do that, because your iPhone 22 Max S Plus is not going to take a good picture for whatever needed. That's what Lee Cathy can do. So I encourage you to do that. And Lee Cathy, here's my contribution. Thanks, Mike.
Good afternoon. I just want to make a quick acknowledgement for Kelsey, because she wasn't introduced as a visitor with good reason, because she's always here helping out. So Kelsey, thank you so much.
One more very brief announcement. You all recall who were here a few months ago. Kelly Hammond came with her Strings Attached program here and gave us the most remarkable demonstration of how she has a method of teaching young kids to play violin, cello, etc. Last night, she led a group of 94, by my count, students playing those instruments on every level. 8 years of work with the Strings Attached program sponsored by the LaGrange Symphony Orchestra began some of these kids. But now, thanks to Brian Shoemate and the school system and his emphasis on getting music in all the schools, orchestral music, this program is amazing. And they played and put on beautifully. Some of you were there, so my thanks for that.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. Yeah, there's a lot to be proud of, a lot going on, a lot to look forward to. We're blessed for sure. Thanks to all those happy dollars. And now I'll ask Tripp Penn to introduce our program.
Good afternoon, everybody. So, I always thought that leading a college, particularly a small private liberal arts college, is one of the toughest jobs in the country. It just is. You're leading really, really smart, fiercely independent faculty. Your success a lot of times is out of your control. You're dependent on 18 to 22-year-olds to behave, and it's just a tough job. But fortunately, we have Dr. Susanna Baxter at the helm for LaGrange College. So she has many great qualities, many, and I could list them, but I'll tell you one of them that I'm impressed with. She's very scrappy, and I mean that in the best sense of the word. Resilient, courageous, determined. I looked up the definition. One of those is argumentative. I don't mean argumentative. I mean the good kind. But she doesn't shrink from the challenge. And because of her leadership and the work her teams do in LaGrange College's position for continued greatness in the coming years. And you're going to hear a lot of excitement about rolling out a new strategic plan. Also, I would encourage you, baseball.
I'm not talking about it.
Okay, come out and see it. There's really good baseball coming this weekend, so come out and see it. So Dr. Baxter is the second female president in the 191-year history of LaGrange College. 191 years. Think about that legacy. So Bobby Carmichael pointed out at her inauguration, Abraham Lincoln was 22 years old when LaGrange College was founded. So this really blows you away. So Dr. Baxter joined LaGrange College on July 1st, 2020. Think back to July 1st. Is there possibly a worse time to start a very public job? But I think she hit the ground running and has done a fantastic job. So prior to coming to LaGrange College, she served as president of the Georgia Independent College Association, where she worked for 10 years and was appointed president emeritus. Prior to association with GICA, Susanna served as chief operating officer for the Tennessee Independent Colleges and Universities Association for 10 years. She worked as dean of students at Barton College before beginning her association work. So Dr. Baxter earned a BA in both religion and Christian education from Fife University of North Carolina. She went on to earn both her Master and Doctorate of Education in Higher Education Leadership and Policy from Vanderbilt University. During her time at GICA, serving 24 member colleges, she was credited with transforming the organization into an effective advocacy and member-focused organization. Baxter served as the chief advocate for over $80 million in state student scholarships, and during her tenure, private colleges received the highest increase in the state's flagship private college financial aid grant. While in Tennessee, she worked to establish several collaborative organizations in order to better serve private colleges. The first was the Coalition for College Cost Savings, a national group purchasing organization providing a range of contracts for small to medium-sized private colleges in order to help reduce costs and improve efficiency. She also helped to create a statewide public and private college coalition to foster healthy and safe campuses with a focus on alcohol and drug abuse prevention. So Suzanne is a member of the United Way of West Georgia Board, and she's also a lifelong United Methodist. Her dad's actually a Methodist minister. Her obsession with Duke basketball is very real. She is likely the only person in this room who actually likes Christian Lake. She's married to Mark Huffman, and they have 2 sons. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Savannah.
There are times where I do like Christian Laettner. I mean, how, we overlooked the stomp on the chest as a family. We decided to overlook that. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. What an honor and a joy to live in LaGrange and to serve LaGrange College. My family and I really continue to feel like we won the lottery to come here, to have a school like Hillside Montessori that my sons attend, to have wonderful things to do in this area as we begin to come out of our COVID bubble and participate more and more. We're just continue to be so impressed with being here. Thank you for your hospitality. Today, what I'd like to do is go through some updates, because I think the last time that I provided a thorough update of the college was via Zoom, and I prefer this today. So I want to provide that update and then open the floor up for questions that you might have. I want to start by saying thank you to, by saying thank you for those that attended the inaugural events. It was a wonderful opportunity to get together and celebrate. I thought it was a little silly because I've been here almost 2 years, but it turned out to be just what the doctor ordered for us as a community together. So I appreciate all you did, and the partnership with First United Methodist for the prayer service was great. I want to talk about baseball because we got a lot of good stuff going on over at the college right now. We are 35-6 on the year. It's impressive. We are breaking records left and right. We're having players beat records at the college, beat records at the conference. We're part of the USA South Conference. It's the largest D3 conference in the nation. That conference has its championship game this weekend. Now we're celebrating because Coach Kelton was conference coach of the year. We had player of the year as well, Joe Ruth, who usually bats number 3 in the order. And this weekend, we're going to win our 5th straight championship, okay, for the conference. And we are headed into June. We are determined we are going to get out of regionals this year. For the NCAA. It's important to know that our baseball team is number 4 in the country right now. Now it's hard. See, Patty, thank you for nodding at that, because it is hard. See, D3 is the largest conference in the country for NCAA. So it is easier to be number 4 with Division I than it is to be number 4 with Division III. You have to beat more schools. We are number 4 in the country. Depending on which poll, another poll has us at number 2. We're thrilled. We hope our season goes long and we go to nationals. Come out this weekend. The game is at 6 o'clock on Friday, and it is at 2. Hopefully, we take care of business and only have to play 2. If we have to play 3, the second game on Saturday will be at 5:30. You can go get your food and come to the game. We've been focused as a campus working with local foundations and state foundations, as well as our friends of the college and alumni, to modernize our classroom space. And I apologize, I don't have this quite sized correctly for the screen, but what you can see to your right is our business classroom. So our furniture, the things that we were doing in our classrooms, it wasn't what we call modernized. It wasn't able for the faculty to do the pedagogy they wanted to in the classroom. It was more traditional classroom setup. And it was heavy tables and that sort of thing. So we spent a lot of time and effort to make sure that our classrooms matched the pedagogy. So in business school, instead of just having a lecture, you have a lecture now and you break into teams to do a project like you would within a business setting, so that students are comfortable with what's that team work feel like, that project. So you might have a marketing lecture and then you're putting the marketing together, right? You're practicing the skill you've learned. And you can see exercise science down there that we have redone. We've also moved education over to West Side from the Hill, and we have another building that we're starting to work on for those classrooms. Now, I have a quintessential picture here of research, and we do a lot in undergraduate research, and I just want to brag on the college for a minute. Now, I point to this picture of research, and you're now all thinking science as by way of research, and if I hadn't shown that picture, you still may have imagine something like that. For us at LaGrange College, it doesn't matter what your major is, you're invited to do undergraduate research. So if you are a writing major, you are in research. If you're a religion major, if you're a theater major, if you're a music, technology major, psychological sciences, it doesn't matter, you're invited into research. And our students are then encouraged to submit their work, and there's a national organization called the National Council for Undergraduate Research, and that organization selects research to be presented on the national level. We had 13 students chosen this year. In case you can't read this, we were curious, how do we stack up to other schools? So we come in at that orange line for schools in Georgia, and there's really small institutions, you might not have heard of them, like Emory, Mercer, Georgia Tech, all having fewer students than LaGrange College. So we are really proud of that, and you should be too, of the caliber of education that we have going on in our classrooms and the experience that our students can have. And we were curious about Alabama, only UAB had more. In fact, all the rest of the schools in Alabama didn't equal what we had. So we're proud of what we're doing here as a college and really proud of our students. On the graduate program front, we've got 2 main areas for graduate programs, the clinical mental health counseling program as well as education. Clinical mental health counseling now has a fully online pathway within their program. That's new in the last 12 months. And they're also CACREP accredited. And that means that the students can, from all but one state, which obviously had a very good lobbyist, where they said only a school in Missouri that teaches it, will you be certified to work here? CACREP means our students can work in any state except for Missouri. And so it's a wonderful accreditation that we needed, and we got granted, I think, through 2029, so a long step. Now, one of the major initiatives this year that we've been focused on, that Tripp talked about briefly, was our strategic plan. Now, tomorrow I officially roll this out to campus, so I'm going to tease you with the content, but tomorrow is reading day. Our students are getting ready for exams, and the whole campus is going to be able to get together and talk about our plan. So as we look at our plan, and what you can't read down here is the word mission. So it's built upon our mission of being a liberal arts institution that's rooted in our Wesleyan heritage and that tradition, with the values of civility, service, diversity, equity, and inclusion, all the cornerstone of who we are. And then it leads to a vision. And for us, our vision speaks to the transformative power of our educational experience and how we transform the lives of students, but also those students then transform the communities in which they live. Everything in between is the plan. And so those that have ever used a balanced scorecard approach to strategic planning for your business, this is what we did, the same process that we did as a college. If I look at the writing in gold, these are the goals of this plan. And the goals for us is that we're going to emerge in the next 5 years as with our future amplified, right? We've been through a hard time with COVID. We're going to come out, that's going to be in the distant mirror, right? Rear view mirror. We're not even able to see that anymore. We're going to emerge also as a campus that's revitalized. We're going to enable a revitalization. We're going to engage in a way that shows regionally that we're a leader in student-centered education. And we're also going to have a sense of community renewal. So today I want to talk to you about a few of those pieces that might be of interest to you. And if you want to come back and ask me more questions, I can certainly come back to this slide and answer them in the Q&A. The boxes that you see are the objectives, kind of what are we doing? And of course, there's a slew of things behind that of what we mean by that. But I want to walk through and give you a sense as we move across the types of things that LaGrange College will be doing. And if I start on this Future Amplified column, we have one undergraduate online degree program currently. It's an RN to BSN program. We need more. We know we have students that want to come to us, but physically don't want to come to us, right? But they would avail themselves of our education if we were online for part of it. We don't want to replace the bricks and mortar of being a residential college, but we want to supplement that. We also know that we need more graduate programs. We only really have in 2 areas that I talked about briefly a few minutes ago. And so we're going to look to build upon our strengths and add graduate programs. Those may be all online, or it might be a hybrid approach. We're not sure yet. We'll see what the research and data supports us doing. If I move across and I look at the campus revitalized, this speaks to buildings, IT, infrastructure, the things that we need to do to support the educational enterprise. So one item in there is to replace our enterprise system, our ERP system. This is the student information system. So when I apply for college, to the time I ask for the transcript, to how I pay my bill, to how I get my financial aid, to how my advisor helps advise me because they can look in and see what I'm doing, how we send early alert warnings about students we're concerned with, right, that may not be on track. All of that is connected at an institution. It's all usually one system. And we're in the process of we're going to replace that system at the college to improve the functionality. So it gives you a sense of the types of things we're doing. But also within this area is really looking at our spaces. A number of our buildings sit empty during the summer, or they sit empty at night or on a weekend. And we want to diversify our revenue. So we're going to look at those spaces and figure out what could we be doing with those spaces that would bring in additional income and revenue and be of service to the community. So that's one of the areas that we will be looking at. It might look like a robust summer camp program, right? We've got fabulous science. Why don't we do a STEM camp? Why don't we do other things in those spaces? A leadership camp, an environmental camp. We could partner. We could do lots of things to bring students in. They could have a camp-like experience in a residence hall, eat in our cafeteria, enjoy being away from home. Mom and dad can have a little break. We'd like to serve that function. And then if I move to the third column, looking at being student-centered, we have students that start with us that don't end up graduating, and we want to improve that ratio so that more students who begin go all the way to graduation. And one of the things that's undergirding this, and I don't know if you've experienced this as a parent or with your grandchildren, but we hear from a lot of parents about the loss of learning during COVID. And so a parent it sounds like this. They pull me over to preview day and the parent's like, Emily has the grades to get in here, but I think she didn't earn those grades. Like, I don't know that she learned anything over the last 2 years. I'm really concerned. And so we know that we're hearing this time and time again. Now, we don't know yet if the perception to the reality. But when we look at early data, it's looking like perception's the reality for some of this. And we anticipate that that being behind feeling is going to keep going, right, for the next 10 years, because that kindergarten student or that third grader that missed a year virtually, I don't know what my son learned the year we were virtual in DeKalb County. Not much. Or at least he learned it in 2 hours, because that's how long it took him to complete the day. So mom doesn't feel like he learned a lot. Now, I hope he's made it up since he's been here. But we're going to be looking at what are the learning supports that we need to have in place for these students when they hit the ground so that they don't lose, they're not paying for something they can't accomplish, right? That we're providing the support to catch these students up. So that's a lot of what's going to come out of that area. And then if I look at the fourth area, this involves a lot of you in this room. So what we want to do is look at the relationship that we have with local businesses, with local agencies, with anybody within the community, and help strengthen those ties. And the root of this is that our students really want, in the survey data that was done with them, what they want is a town gown feel, a college town feel. So for them, they're not comparing it to Athens. They're comparing it to Carrollton. They want to feel like the town supports the college, and they want to feel like there's opportunities out in the community for them. Part of this is a mindset to educate them what's already there, but part of it is also to increase foot traffic of our students in downtown, right? So some of the ways that we're already trying to work on this kind of twofold. One is we're instituting a welcome week so that our first year students will come back for about 6 days before classes and the upper class students come in. And as a part of that, they're going to have a scavenger hunt in downtown, right? And they're going to have to go and hopefully buy some ice cream or buy a pizza, right, while they're there during that time. But drive that interest into downtown. We also, as a part of our Welcome Week, will have a service Saturday, and all of our first year students, so 200 plus students, will be out in the community doing service. So for those at local nonprofits, or you have an idea, let me know. You can shoot me an email at sbaxter@lagrange.edu, and I'll get you plugged in with the right people, because we have a lot of students to deploy that day. But we want to teach them, right? Service is core to our value system here at the college. We want them to know what opportunities they have, and that service belongs in their daily routine or their weekly routine, and not something you wait till you retire or you get married or whatever that delay is, right, that a student might have. So we're excited about what that could mean. We know that we have a good relationship already in the community. We just want it to be amplified. We want to do more in that area. So I hope that you will partner with us as we begin down that path over the next 5 years of brainstorming and thinking, what exactly does that look like? We believe ultimately that if we are a student-centered institution, it benefits this community enormously. You've seen probably in the slides that have been around town, you've seen, or the signs that are around our campus about being a top 10 value. So we are honored, right, at that, and you should be too, and proud, because there are 93 schools in our category. So out of 93, U.S. News and World Report recognizes us as a top 10 in best value. Frequently we get cited also for undergraduate teaching and the strength of that program. So we're proud of that. We're also proud of the arts and other forms of entertainment like baseball that we provide here in the community. I don't know how many of you went to see the play. I got tickled. So the students are very protective of me. And they come up to me, the ones that are in the play, and like, President Baxter, we're like, the play. And yeah, I'm coming. Well, I mean, it's got some words in it. And yeah. And I said, I saw the movie. And they like blank stares, because it was A Few Good Men. Okay. And if I asked you, what's the famous line? You can't handle the truth. And I said, yeah, I saw the movie. Blank. Jack Nicholson. blank. I'm like, I'm feeling ancient. And I was like, you can't handle the truth? And they're like, oh, yeah, you've seen it, you've seen it. So I assured them that I was going to be able to handle it. It was terrific. I'm now praying with many students on campus and faculty members because they've so embodied anger and tapped into an angry side of themselves that one of the faculty that was in it, who was like the angriest of the characters, said, now all the students tell me I can do nothing but smile on campus or no one will take my classes, because he was a big drill sergeant. We provide all sorts of opportunities. If you like art, our student art show is still up. You can go by the Lamar Dodd Art Center now and see it. There is some phenomenal work up. Got to see it at the opening on Friday. We also provide the 3D journeys. I know some of you have traveled with 3D journeys in the past. We're headed to Boston this summer. Typically our journeys are abroad. This year, because of COVID and all the restrictions, we did one in the States. But that experience is going, and if you don't know much about that, if you like to travel but you don't do any of the planning, it's the perfect program for you, because the organization of it is all scheduled for you and arranged. You just show up and have a great time. We do a tremendous amount of internships. This is in practicum experiences, and you all help participate and provide opportunities for our students. This is really important. In fact, it was one of what we call, it's in higher ed, it's called a high impact practice. It's something that the data says a student is more likely to graduate from your institution if they're engaged in high impact practices. Internships, practicums, service, undergraduate research, they're all considered study away, all considered a high impact practice. In these internships, it's wonderful. I talked to a student several months ago who was wrapping up an internship, and she said, oh, let me tell you what I'm never going to do. And so she describes her internship and where she was and what she was doing. And I said, well, that sounds great. And she said, what do you mean that's great? And I said, you just figured out at 19 what you don't want to do. That's so much better than 30, right? So it provides a great opportunity for them to lean in and go, yep, that's what I'm being called to do, or no, not so much. Let me figure that out again. So I appreciate you as you provide opportunities. And if you don't have an internship, most of them are not paid. But if you have opportunities, feel free to email me if there's stuff like, I could use an intern that could do this type of work. We'd love to hook more students up with you. We also bring in a great deal of tourists and visitors. In addition to hosting championship baseball, we have National History Day is something that our college puts on for the state, and we're thrilled about that. That brings in thousands of middle school and high school students and their parents into this region. We also are involved a lot in service. So over 4,500 hours are logged annually on average by our students. That's a lot of trash that gets picked up and children that get played with and programs. And I know Jaja and I've talked about wanting to amplify that even more, right? To have more opportunities for our students to serve. It's some of their most meaningful experiences are remembering those service opportunities that they had. And so that's a key component for our college. Now, as we look at the professional pipeline that we're putting out into the county and into this region, I want to brag for a minute. So of the class of 2021, 85% of our graduates had a job or into graduate school at the time the diploma hit their hand in May. That's a phenomenal rate because a lot of places haven't finished hiring at that point, right? 85% of the students had a job. 30% of our graduates live in Troup County. And I was listening, the inevitable Target comment came up again because I was listening to a group of students and they were, I'm not from here, but I think I've decided I'm going to live here. I mean, I'd be 100% if they had a Target, but I think that I'll live here anyway. So I hear Target all the time, as I know everybody else does. We know we will have arrived and we have Target, but our students, despite not having a Target, choose to stay here and live. I know Eric is everywhere. 37% of the teachers in Troup County are LaGrange College alum. And if you look at the nurses, 45% remain in Troup County and work, most of them at Wellstar. So we're in big time service for this community. And I can't imagine what it would be like if LaGrange College wasn't here and the void that would leave in this community. So there's a couple of things I want to ask you to do. One is, as you have a positive experience, or you go to the play, or you go to the art show, or the baseball, or wherever, if you are on social media, let people know you're there and encourage them to attend. It helps to get the word out about the college. The other piece is I want you to join us in celebrating the success of our graduates. So I don't know how many of you walk, if you walk by the college, but if you were to walk around this time of the year, you're going to hear the chapel bell ring, because we have a practice that seniors, when they get a job or into graduate school, how many ever times those happen, they ring the bell. And it is an event. I'm so proud of this. The students love it. So this is, I got invited. Mia is in the center of this picture. She's our SGA president. She has really been stressed because she's trying to decide between GW, American University, and Emory. Like, I told her, Mia, this is a first world problem you've got, my friend. Right? You're worried. She got some of them were free ride, full rides. Like, she's an awesome student, and just one of our many awesome students. So you can see we all came out to celebrate what our students, faculty, staff. And when you hear that sound of success, I hope that you will smile and know that another student has reached a goal and a dream. So here's some of where our students are going this year. This is not a full list. All of our teachers got job offers for Troup County Schools. Not every single one accepted it, but all had jobs. Dr. Shoemake's been very clear he'll hire every one of our graduates because they're that type of quality. We have some going to graduate school, forensic and legal psychology. We've got one student, a chemist, and she was like, I'm going to work at Publix. And I have to admit, I was like, we have failed her. Like, why is she going to work at Publix? Okay, but here's the story. When you buy things at Publix and it tells you how many calories and what the ingredients are, and then you decide to put it back because it's right. She is going to be doing that work. So they have chemists that measure all of what the food content is and to make sure it's correct and right. We have other students that are going into theater troupes across this country. One is really excited because he's getting into the stunt man world and he's going to be in movies. He's a theater student. So our students are getting to live out their dreams, whether it be law school, public administration, and you can see the list of other things that our students are doing. Obviously, a lot in healthcare, a lot in education as well. And then we're proud of our Walter Murphy Scholarship recipients and all the great things that these students are doing now and will do in the future. So thank you for your continued support of that most generous program. I would welcome an opportunity to take questions if there's time.
What's your medical school acceptance rate for all the pre-med students?
That's an excellent question. I don't know the answer to. I'll have to follow up with that one.
Who's operating ours now?
Dr. Karen Pruitt.
Pruitt? Can your students get credits for tutoring kids for a nonprofit after-school program?
Not academic credit per se, but they can get, you might be able to work out something where it counts towards some other type of credit that they need called cultural enrichment credit. I don't know. I have to talk about that. But they also have service. Some of our Greek fraternity and sorority life have service requirements and hours they have to log. So that might be another way to log in. And also we have the Servant Scholars Program, which is a terrific program. And students through that have to log so many hours of service. So we should talk. Yes.
Impressive, but that takes a while for the law to actually increase in attendance. Somebody has said, actually correctly, that you all have started TikTok and that you have gotten an amazing number of applicants just from that. Could you comment on that?
I don't know about a number of applicants. So I can tell you is we've had an incredible amount of views. I am not on TikTok. I don't get TikTok. I don't understand it when I've seen it. I don't know the joy of this, but people are there, right? And so I think we had like 8 million views on TikTok. It was an incredible, absurd amount of, and I wonder where these people, like, what other use of your time could you have? But I love it. They're on there, and you can have advertisements on TikTok. So we did get in the digital space. You're right. TikTok is one of the spaces. So what it's intended to do, so we're geofencing, for example. So we might be around a hospital where we know they have a lot of people who want to go right to get maybe that RN to BSN route or get a BSN. And we will target that area with, we have nursing advertisement on their phone. So when you're if you've ever ridden down the road and you're like, on your phone looking for somewhere to eat, and all of a sudden you get an ad popped up on your phone and you're like, why do they know I'm here? It's because they're using geofencing. And so Cracker Barrel or whomever has said, anybody in this cell tower radius, right, we're gonna ping with that. So we're doing those types of things. Our enrollment is going to be up for next year. Our enrollment is, we have more deposits today at this point in time than we have had for the last 2 years. So we're going to be up. Our enrollment overall, because we have 2 small classes, is not going to, it will be up, but it's not going to be back to where it was. But we're going to get there.
I was just going to say, kudos to LaGrange College. I have about 2 interns a year, service scholar intern now. One of the last things I had, we hired, so they do a fabulous job in research.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Do you comment on the success of your director and the fundraising success that way?
I would love to do that, yes. Terrelyn Olds is our athletic director, and she has worked out in the community and raised over $200,000 for our athletic department this year. So I appreciate any of the room that said yes to her when she came and said, can I have some food for the umpires or whomever, right, between sessions, or just outright fundraising dollars. Athletics is an expensive proposition, right? We've got a lot of teams and they go the long distance. And so we appreciate that athletic support. We would really like to improve, and that's part of that fourth column on that community sense of renewal. You know, we're doing baseball, we're playing phenomenal baseball, and our stands are empty. So where's everybody, right? And so we want to help work with the local community and appreciate the newspaper for running articles about how well our team is doing, right? And our games are free. So we don't have the cost element to it. Now, I will say this weekend, you're going to show up, bring cash, because the conference is charging people to come in. It's their rule. And so you'll have to pay to get in. I think it's $10. But that's, usually it's free.
Last comment, I just want to say, You Get Men is one of my favorite movies, and I did go to that play. It was over the top, fabulous. I mean, it was like Broadway caliber.
It was awesome, wasn't it? And one of our students who graduated last year just opened on an off-Broadway play. Speaking of Broadway, I'm so proud of her. Our graduates, they really, I mean, you all know as an arts community, you can make a living and you make a good living in arts, and our graduates are doing that.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing that with us today. Your values and your vision and the strategy that you're laying out, I look forward to seeing you put that way in the rear view mirror. So thank you very much for being here and everything that you're doing. In honor of your speaking today, Rotary is going to make a donation to Polio Plus, which is our initiative to eradicate polio from the world. So thank you for that. Next week, we'll have an update on the Apalachicola, Chattahoochee, Flint Riverkeeper waterways. So we'll see you next week. We're adjourned. You still good to me?